अब मैं अपने तासुरात के लिए सबसे पहले प्रोफेसर सैयद अखील अहमद साहब से गुजारिश करूँगा कि वो आएँ और अपने तासुरात बयान करें।
आली जनाब खलील मामून साहब, सदर महफिल डॉक्टर अजय कुमार सिंह साहब, मेहमान खुसूसी डॉक्टर माजुद्दीन ख़ान साहब, मेहर मंसूर साहब, मिलन अंसार अत्तर अहमद साहब, मोहम्मद आज़म शाहिद साहब, नियाज़ुद्दीन नयाज़ जो सदर महफिल हैं, मुनीर अहमद जामी साहब जो जनरल सेक्रेटरी हैं, मोअज़्ज़िज़ सामीन, ख़वातीन व हज़रात, बात करनी मुझे मुश्किल कभी ऐसी तो न थी, बात करनी मुझे मुश्किल कभी ऐसी तो न थी, जैसी अब है तेरी महफिल कभी ऐसी तो न थी। सबसे पहले मैं मुनीर अहमद जामी साहब का शुक्रगुज़ार हूँ कि मुझ जैसे एक बेअदब शख्स को इस बादब महफिल में मेहमान खुसूसी बनाकर बुलाया गया है। मैं तहे दिल से शुक्रिया अदा करता हूँ। पचास साल की उम्र में ज़्यादातर सिर्फ अंग्रेज़ी से ताल्लुक़ रहा, उर्दू से लगाव बहुत है, दिल से चाहते हैं मगर फिर भी रवानी अंग्रेज़ी में है। इसलिए इस महफिल के मोअज़्ज़िज़ सामीन से मुअद्दिबाना, मुखलिसाना और आजिज़ाना दरख्वास्त करता हूँ कि मैं अंग्रेज़ी में तक़रीर करूँ।
हम लोग समझ लेंगे, आप करेंगे तब कोई बात नहीं, आप बोलिए, आप अंग्रेज़ी बोलिए।
Distinguished poets of this evening, it is a great honor that I have been invited to talk something about Khaleel Mamoon Sahab, and whose my friendship for last 4 decades. And it is this brief period, I am using within the inverted commas the word brief for a simple reason that the time flew like an birds, and we are just yet to see how much of this great achievement Mr. Khaleel Mamoon Sahab has done. People have been speaking very wonderful words and showered all the superlatives on him. I fully agree and endorse your appreciation and superlatives which he richly deserves. Nevertheless, but if I had given a chance to just present his personality in the few words, I'll be talking only the 5 P's. I have seen him when he was in power as a young man in late 70s and early 80s. I have seen him as a police, and at that time I also saw the sparks of the poet and with his beautiful poetry. I feel, and I am also very convinced, that it is very rarest of the rare occasion, the amalgamation of power, police and poetry has resulted in his excellent performance in his professional and his personal life. Added to it is the popularity. So this one message, it comes very clear to everyone that literature doesn't come as an obstacle to any of the professions, rather it boosts your personality to perform in the best of its kind. For a simple reason, I believe शायरी खेल नहीं फिक्र तख़य्युल है अमीन. When we say that it is an imagination, so naturally we are trimming our minds to that extent, and that was reflected in his personality as a police officer, that he used to just amalgamate the human aspects with his thinking and his novelty and his perseverance, and in this case he built up his own popularity as a very able police officer. This is the best example wherein we can inculcate, being the teachers to all the students, that the literature will come handy to make us not only human but at the same time to be very performing personality. In this context, it is desirable to share my thoughts that Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru was fond of poetry. And in Mathai was his secretary, everyone must be knowing him. He came once, he entered the room of the Panditji and he said, and he was reading a ghazal. Mathai was surprised. I said, Panditji, as you have a very hectic programs and you are just going through some poetry. Then do you know what was the Panditji's reply? The Panditji's reply was, are you not reading the poetry? Yes, yes, Panditji. When I am just tired of the whole work, I go back home, just relax in a very good chair and read the ghazals or some poetry or some literature. I will be totally relaxed in such a way that I do not feel that any pinch of the stress the whole day I have had. But do you know what was the reply of Panditji? To relax when you are tired, you read poetry. I read poetry because I should not get tired during my performance. This is what the literature and the power of the literature is. And what I am always been very proud to say about Khaleel Sahab was, you know, the power adds to the arrogance, but I have never seen a bit of arrogance during our contemporary life. When I was a young lecturer, he had come to Mysore, he was holding a very good position and other tough position and that situation. But he used to walk in some of my one friend's house, friend's shop, and we used to have a relaxed idea, and the way in which he will never felt it that he is an officer and is a man with the power. No, this is his personality. And because of this simple and subtle personality, he was able to think and fly in his imagination, that he just translated his poetry or his thoughts into the poetry, and that poetry was a unique poetry. In this context, maybe I'll be out of context, but nevertheless, you bear with me. I am stealing one share because he got the Ghalib award. And Dunya mein sakunwar bahut achhe. I'll just change a little second misra. And Dunya mein sakunwar bahut achhe. Kehte hain ki Khaleel Mamoon ka andaz-e bayan aur. So nevertheless, and he also mentioned one of the Sufis, and that is very interesting, that one of the Sufis who used to ask the tawaifs, the prostitutes, to just pray for it. I endorse the views of that Sufi Sahib. For me, I feel it. तूने जिस्म को बेचा है एक फाका टालने के लिए. तूने अपने जिस्म को बेचा है एक फाका टालने के लिए. लोग यज़दाम बेच देते हैं अपना मतलब निकालने के लिए. In this context, I feel that what he says was right, and that is the imagination. Well, nevertheless, I will not go on and on, but at the same time, we do have the challenges of our country. The literature is sliding down with an exponential rate. We need to arrest, I think so. Azam Shah Sahib would also agree with me. And if the literature slides down, take it from me that what we will be having the next generation is only the robots and not the human beings. We cannot afford to see that this literature slides down, and you'll see that you will have the human beings and to carry forward the legacy of our great country, which has the hallmark of harmony, heritage and history. And all in this aspect, you will see the literature has played an human role. So we need to see that in this great country of ours, we have the rich heritage, and please remember, when we are talking of rich heritage, the heritage is the literature, and the literature in so many languages. And that too, mostly, I just make it very insisting on this one, more than 5 crores people, or more than many people, speak Urdu. Though we are not having a contradiction between Hindi and Urdu, they are overlapping if you take into consideration and make a just to survive. You will see there are crores and crores of the people who are speaking Urdu. And Urdu is the language which was born in India. And unfortunately, we have just shared that with a neighboring country, which they call it as their official language. Please remember, Pakistan's official language is Urdu, not the what I call it as a common language is Urdu. There is a difference. I did mention this in one of the occasions, and I wish to repeat before the August audience that अगर उर्दू अगर एक ज़बान होती तो कभी की मिट चुकी होती. उर्दू अगर एक ज़बान होती तो कभी की मिट चुकी होती. उर्दू ज़बान नहीं है, ये दिलों की पुकार है. And it is here, if you want to see, even though this official language of the neighboring country is Urdu, but if Urdu has to survive and it has to grow, it is only in this country. I, way back in about almost 50 years ago, I had written an article, Is Urdu a Mohammedan's language? During a very young age, I was trying to go for various literature, and I had found some literature pertaining during that period. In 1972, I wrote this article. And wherein it says, is Urdu the Mohammedan's language? I had given a list of all, starting by the Firaq Gorakhpuri, because I was a fond reader of 20वीं सदी, whose editor was And Ramlal's, most of the afsanas which used to be published, that are the literature, and they're full of bubbly articles that we used to have it. Nowadays we are not seeing it. We need to renew this. Not only this, please remember, heritage, when I am talking of the hallmark of our country, religions are our heritage. And Urdu is a part of our heritage because most of the religious literature is available in Urdu. And most of the times, if you just try to take it away, this particular heritage, naturally we will be shifting from spiritualism to the ritualism, and that is a dangerous trend in our country, and we need to correct it. I hope Dr. Ajay Kumar Saab will also agree with me. We are drifting from the spiritualism to ritualism. This is a dangerous trend wherein you will see that there will not be a good generation which can have a balanced and harmonious life in future. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I do not want to take a long time, and as he rightly pointed out in his one of the poems on Khaleel Mamoon Sahab, and I would wish to just share four lines of Robert Frost. Woods are lovely, dark and deep, but I have promises to keep, miles to go before I sleep, miles to go before I sleep. Well, thank you very much, Mr. Munir Ahmad Jami Sahab, for giving me a wonderful opportunity to share my thoughts to this august audience. Thank you very much.